wife and I are downtown quite a bit, almost every night for dinner, and that's what happens when you have an empty nest. But I can tell you that every place I go is crowded.
So in this particular case, it's 325 spaces, as the mayor had indicated, 250 of which are at the county lot, and then 75 spaces are here at what is the Social Security lot. Now, the Social Security building, just so you know, the building itself, it's privately owned, and the owner is the Emerald Realty Group, and Doug Kelly, the CEO, who couldn't be here, but is supportive of what we're doing here. Obviously, the hours of operation are going to be during peak hours, so that's when we see the most problems here in the city, during these peak hours when there's multiple events going on, including the State Theater events, etc. And it causes some parking issues for the residents. So we're trying to create some outlets so parkers can park and still go ahead and enjoy the venue that they're coming to enjoy in downtown. So in this particular lot here, the hours of operations will be post 5 p.m., not to interfere with the Social Security hours of operation. So we were very careful when we were working with Doug to make sure that that it was a post 5 o'clock, and that's when we see the greatest demand in the downtown. Similarly, with the county lots, we will be doing the same thing. It would be post 5 p.m. We ran, as the mayor had mentioned, not just one but several beta tests, if you will, with the State Theater. So in conjunction, working with the State Theater, who advertised to their patrons the parking at the county lots, we saw an average, and this was just to start, of about 50 vehicles or about 100 attendees parking up there during several shows in the last month or two. It worked out well enough that we thought that the more we advertise this and the more culturally everyone understands of the different parking options, that the more popular these parking options will be. So that's the general detail. Two other things that we wanted to mention as part of this parking announcement is that the city is going to be presenting to council on Wednesday a plan to upgrade its signage in the downtown, parking signage to help locate the garages. So we'll be presenting that to City Council to have a more robust plan, for example. And then thirdly, one thing that came up during the parking summit that we're going to roll out is a parking dashboard to help create more transparency on the utilization in the garages, so everyone just gets a better understanding, like that's the public and our residents, of that utilization. Right now, I mean, there is a lot of talk that it's hard to find parking during peak times. That's true, but what we're seeing, at least what I'm seeing at my desk, especially when I'm looking at parking utilization, is that we're less than 50% on average utilized in the garage. Now that doesn't mean that there's peak times where we get to 80%, 90%, certainly 100%, but then it diminishes rather quickly. And it diminishes rather quickly at 9 p.m. or around the lunchtime when one or two of the garages hits a peak, and then within like an hour it reduces significantly. But that's something that had come up during our parking summit, and we wanted to roll that out as part of this press release. The last thing I do want to say, that it doesn't stop here. This has been a multiple years in the works. Just like the City of Easton, it has taken many years to get to this point. We have in the pipeline right now, we're talking to other private lot owners. We have about 100 more spaces in the downtown that we're looking to finalize, and we'll make those announcements to City Council, and we'll let the press know that as they come up. One could be as soon as next week. So it's pretty significant, I think, for the city, and something that the mayor wanted to make sure we make this announcement. We're adding 325 spaces to the parking system. If we were to build structured spaces, that's about a $10 million price garage. So it's about $30,000 a space. It's just under $10 million for 325 spaces. In addition to our lineup that we have here, I do want to thank just a couple of members, representatives of the restaurant industry here in Easton. From the Gusto Group, we have Chris Chang. We also have Christina Eastlash from Mesa Grill, and Danya, which your last name escapes me right now. Kingsman from Third and Ferry. So I just want to let you know that the private sector came out to support us. Also here, who is a big supporter of the city and our endeavors, was GDP. Jared Mask is here with us, and our Main Street manager, Julie, is here with him. So, there's obviously some support here as we're trying to be creative and work with what we have within this system.
But why is the county here today? The county is usually very possessive of the county's property. As a matter of fact, a few years ago, we looked to see what we might want to do about the Center Square. We decided to let Easton keep it for now. But we are at such a critical juncture in the city of Easton. The city of Easton is growing again. It's growing in population. It's growing economically. The city of Easton is becoming a magnet not only for people to want to live here, but a job creator. And I just want to talk about the excellent leadership of Mayor Panto, a man who I've said is the best mayor Easton has ever had, Councilman Frank Pintabone, who has thrown himself into his councilmanic duties in a way that I have never seen before, and Crystal Rose, who's here, who has an emphasis on the development and the preservation of small business so that our quality of life is improved, but also that we create jobs here right in the county seat. So when originally Councilman Pintabone and then the mayor approached us, I was like, we don't do that, right? The county just doesn't do that. Then I spoke with our Director of Public Works, Michael Amealy, who began working with Lewis very cooperatively, and I think the gentlemen worked together very well, and they came up with this excellent plan to relieve a little bit of the pressure on parking in the city of Easton during peak hours without interfering with county operations. You see, because I have 9 folks up there who I have to make sure their lives are not disrupted in any way. And once we could figure that out, we were able to go ahead and move forward with this, because Easton's progress cannot be derailed by a lack of parking. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. A few months ago, myself and County Executive McClure sat for lunch to discuss the extreme popularity that we have in the city of Easton. Due to that popularity, parking has become a concern for many. We discussed the use of county lots on Washington Street, and Executive McClure wasn't initially biting on my idea. At the conclusion of the meeting, I met with Mayor Panto and City Administrator Lewis and told them that I had softened the executive up. Go get him. I joke. Lamont was very open to it and told us to give him some numbers. They immediately put the pen to the paper, and another meeting occurred up at Lamont's office. At that meeting, we made tremendous progress, and here we are today, showing what happens when government works together and creates solutions that work for the people. I want to thank Lamont McClure and his administration, City Administrator Louis Campos, and Mayor Panto for coming together and getting it done. Thank you.
Primarily, I want to say thank you to Mayor Panto, Executive McClure, and Louis Campos. 30-some years ago when I came to the State Theater, the problem we had was parking, where to park. Because people didn't know where to park, because they weren't used to coming from all outside the area as much as they are now. So all things revolve around parking, don't they? Here we are all these years ago, it's still the same. I get the phone calls, where do I park? What has been amazing about why we're all here is, and I think we can all really take heart in the fact that this is a real example of people from all different places working together quickly to address the issue. We are optimistic. Obviously, we'll have bumps along the way, but this is an example of listening and coming, and I mean, getting a phone call saying, would you be interested in sitting down? We want to fix the parking situation. That is fantastic, and I think everybody should be very heartened by that, and there seems to be sometimes very little communication among people. So thank you again to them. And we have our fingers crossed, and it's always a great night in Easton, and you can come on down. Thank you.